Hi everybody, Sean Holsinger here from HolsingerSlyShop.com and at Posted Outdoors. Thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoy this video. This is one of my favorite nymph patterns that I use. Actually, it's a wet fly. I use it on my nymph leader when I'm fishing. This is a golden pheasant tail nymph. I really like this one, and just a really neat pattern whenever it's done. Hope you enjoy watching. Okay, the fly I'm about to tie here is my golden pheasant wet fly. It's a really good fly. I use it as my top fly on my nymph leader usually. I'm just going to use a dark brown colored thread here. Using a size 14 Daiichi 1560. I tie this even smaller. A lot of times I'll tie it down to an 18. I really like this pattern. It's just a good generic wet fly. It has a lot of color. I use these golden pheasant tail fibers a good bit in a couple different flies, a couple different nymph patterns too. I really like the way it models. It has a modeled look to it. Let me show you here what the pheasant tail looks like. It's a really neat looking feather, different than a ringneck pheasant. Anyway, we're going to cut about 5 or 6 fibers off, and we're going to use the tail to make the tail. The tips to make the tail here. We're just going to pinch them down on top of the hook, just like we do normally. Like always, soft loop and a tight loop. Okay, then we want to make sure we got the right length here for our tail. It's a little bit, it's close. A little bit long, but that's pretty close. And then I'm going to wrap back to the bend of the hook on this. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I want to add some gold tinsel. I'll use French oval tinsel. I'm going to wrap that down. Okay, now the long pheasant tail fiber that I have hanging out over here, I'm going to pull it back and I'm going to wrap it down. This is going to give me just a little bit of extra thickness here to the body. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap this back up to where I want to end it. Okay, now this is the part where I'll wrap these pheasant tail fibers just like we're doing a regular pheasant tail, except this time we're using golden pheasant. And as you'll see here, the pheasant tail fiber, the way those light and dark spots are on there, gives it a really neat mottled look to it. That's why I really like using this. And I'm just going to wrap that up here. Tie this off. Now this is pretty much a standard wet fly pattern, just a generic, doesn't really imitate anything in particular, but it works real well. Okay, cut that off there. Clean this up a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to give it the gold rib. And just a couple wraps here, about 4, really all you need. You don't have to wrap it real tight or anything. Just make it nice and even, make it pretty. And we're going to tie this off. Okay, now, next thing I do, you could use peacock herl on this. I prefer to use peacock ice dubbing. It's just a product I like to use a little bit better than peacock herl. I'm going to wax my thread. Not peacock, sorry, I'm using pheasant tail ice dub for this fly. I'm just going to dub it on my line here, on my string. And you don't need a lot of this. This isn't going to be a very big spot on here we're going to make. Okay, get that all dubbed on there. Push up the edge. We're going to wrap this around. Like I said, I don't want that too big, so I'm going to pull some of my dubbing off here. Back that out and tighten it down. Okay, now the last thing I need to do, make it a wet fly, I need to put the hackle on it. I'm using Brahma hen hackle. The saddle, it's a Brahma hen saddle. I really like using these things. It's a much better imitation of a partridge hackle. A lot easier to work with. I'm just going to pinch the tip of it and pull it back. You see there, I'll leave the tip. I'm going to tie that tip down. It's still on top there. I'm going to tie it down. Trim off my extra there. Okay, now just going to wrap this around about 2, at the very most 3 times. I don't want this real thick. Just want it to be lively looking. Okay. Try to get these all going back. And I'm going to tie this off. Make 3 or 4 wraps there. I'm going to cut my hackle off. And I'm going to pull this back. Make a nice little head there. And then I'm just going to half hitch this one off. And normally I would whip finish this. I don't have it handy right this second, so I'm just going to half hitch it real quick. Put a little head cement on there and you're all done. That's a very easy fly to tie. Good beginner's fly. That's a nice little beginner's wet fly pattern to tie. Not all that hard. And you don't have to use golden pheasant for it. It would work great with the regular pheasant tail. Try things. Just try different things. That's what I do. That's kind of how I come up with this one. I really like the look of how that gives it that mottled look there. And I hope you like it too. And like I said, I fish this on the top off a dropper on my nymph pattern. I pick a couple up on it every now and then. Give it a try for yourself. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this fly. A lot of the products that we show in these videos we carry online, so don't forget to check us out at holsingersflyshop.com for all your fly fishing needs. And subscribe to our channel here on YouTube so you can be updated every time we come out with a new video.